Five, four, three, two, one. So right now, I'm also doing something. I've been doing these videos because of a friend that suggested it. So this today, I'm gonna go through just on one platform, three different accounts I have, because I have to reorganize right now for stuff that's Mr. Lo Figh only versus my live show and Michael Hensen related tracks and stuff that I'm playing live. One of the issues that I just had or have currently is originally a song that I was working on, which just happens to be Text Me, which is now becoming a single. I've got to remove that from the catalog of Mr. Lo Figh songs. So originally I posted it here, and if you want to hear what the original sounded like, here's So originally I launched this under one of my accounts. So you can see here's another account. This is Michael Hensen 1. There's another Mr. Lo Figh here that shouldn't be here, and a variety of other developmental tracks and stuff. This all stuff. Originally this is going to be my covers page, and then this was going to be my show tracks, releases, and those kind of page, and then this right here, Mr. Lo Figh stuff, which I don't know if anybody knows, but a lot of these tracks, Mr. Lo Figh, 3 albums worth, are available for you to use in your social media reels on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So if you want to use these tracks, you can in your productions. Just type in M-I-S-T-E-R, Mr. L-O-F-I-G-H. And the reason why, instead of it being M-R period, somebody came along and stole that with that name after. And originally I chose this name because I knew it would be different enough in spelling that if I did it this way and branded it, that it would actually have I felt like a greater impact and would not be able to be mistaken for some knockoff, which did happen as soon as I decided to release a bunch of lo-fi music. So one of the things that people don't realize that I have to continually deal with is people coming along and ripping off my identity. And I mean ripping off my identity in the sense when I create some type of, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I came across lo-fi music and its popularity was chill hop on YouTube was getting popular, and I didn't want to create something that was an exact ripoff. And then I found out about Hans, and Hans actually had songs and tracks on LoopCloud, which I was already going through LoopCloud, and that's actually how Over the Madness was formed. And at some point you'll hear that song. I actually am releasing it, but it's actually got a sample of Hans's one, maybe 42 seconds. I was going to say 1 minute, but it's about 40 seconds of a cool lo-fi, I think it's a partial beat, and then also it's practically essentially his whole song, but it's in pieces, and I put it together and I'm gonna release it. So anyway, my only point is I found out about him through LoopCloud, and I was already using some pieces and stuff from LoopCloud and stuff in production. But so anyway, I came across that, and like I said, I put out some tracks, and immediately somebody came along and created two identities now, Mr. Lo Figh as an MR period Lo Figh, which is not me, and they copied me. But then another person came along too, and I think there's a MISTER Lo Figh as an LOFI too. So now I have two people who've copied what I did. But I'm going to say, originally I didn't copy anybody directly. What I did was found out that Hans was making music and chill hop was getting really popular on YouTube. So, and I'm going off on a tangent now, but I wanted to talk about it because I had created 3 albums of lo-fi during COVID because I knew it was production music and stuff that I could use. I could also use it as a bed for maybe some other artists, as well as use it in television and film sync licensing opportunities. I thought this is really good music for in the background of commercials, but not only that, could be used in some of the stuff like Twitch streams and Periscope when Periscope was popular. But now it seems everything's being converted over to TikTok, Instagram, and those kinds of things. And so if you want to use these tracks, you can if you just look up, again, Mr. Lo Figh. But I have a whole account here of those tracks, and if you go on Spotify, Apple Music, you can find all of it there to listen to and check out if you want. But it's all lo-fi instrumental hip-hop stuff. And what I've done is add some elements of my own with electric guitar, and some tracks have ukulele, along with synth-based stuff. And I have, in this production style, I've used some samples and even loop pieces that I've found even in GarageBand. So you'll hear some, but there's variableness in tempo and sometimes key changes. So sometimes you won't be able to find the exact sample, but you'll find something very close. My only point is I created 3 albums of that during COVID, and it was basically so that people could use it in the background of their video productions when you're doing a reel on Instagram, or you're on Facebook doing a story, or if you're on what is the other thing, TikTok, and you want to do a short TikTok video and you want some kind of cool but chill music in the background. So that's why I've done all this, and that's what this all is right here. But what I'm going to doing right now is finding out where I have some lo-fi stuff like this, and Runaway. Here's another one. And these should all be under this account only, under Mr. Lo Figh. But you can see, like, for one album, I created this album cover. This is M Carousel, M Lo Figh, and that's basically in Portuguese. I think it's a set of tracks in lo-fi music, or lo-fi music in Portuguese. But so I did that, and then in here I also have a little lo-fi ditty, which was this album right here with this album cover. There's about 10 of those tracks. I'm sorry, 8 or 9 of those tracks, and then there should be 10 of this album, which is I'm sorry, this is the Lo-Fi Jive, and then this is the blue covers, a little lo-fi ditty. But here's just a sample of that. Here's one that was real popular when it first came out. I say real popular, but it was one people liked a lot. Even got a little comment here from somebody. Great stuff, Mr. Lo Figh. You should go on Google and basically Google fan something, blah, blah, blah. And he was trying to help me out with getting some ideas and promotion. Here's an Output Media is next hit. Hip hop repost. Somebody posted that about some of my stuff in the lo-fi. And I don't have a lot of comments because I haven't pushed this actual account real hard. But you can see, and this even has some of my old production music from MTV. So let's see. Now that specifically is Torian Cook's track. And what I did was revise it, revamp it, and put in new samples, and then had posted it back. But this was originally for MTV. Let's see, here's the MTV Cribs selections. Here's the ones that were selected. I don't even know why they picked that one. It's was horrible. They picked one of the T's. This was the one they picked the T's. That track actually reminds me of like when Eminem came out, and we had done several beat tracks, but that reminded me to me of what you might have heard. That's one they picked the T's here. This was actually a song that wound up being a song called "The Word" that Teddy did and recorded with us in Digital One Studios. But it was wow, kind of an epic, kind of this kind of heavy, kind of dramatic sound. But that's one of my tracks, and that was one of the ones they picked actually as the instrumental. Um, So when I had my little bit of debut for MTV in 2010, this was it from MTV Cribs. These were all the ones selected. And if T never really knew, this video will show you specifically why the payout was the way it was. And it was, I think I gave him $110 because they did. The only one they selected was TB203, which I would have thought this one, because this was one of my favorites, and I submitted to them probably 28 tracks at the time, something like that. And this was through a company called Manifest Media, but anyway, they no longer are. They turned into a music library, and then ever since they turned into a music library, they didn't do sync and relationship management. And I just mean with directly to a music supervision company or specific relationships. And I don't know if that made them fall off. I really don't. I think what happened was they tried to generate revenue from just having a giant library and offering it. And I just feel like in some ways that was unfair, because it didn't offer artists like ourselves, who actually originally had an opportunity and a connection to go directly to the television and film industry through a liaison like Manifest Media. We now no longer had an opportunity, because that was turned into a library, and then they wanted to do with the tracks what they wanted to do. And it kind of was like, okay, so you're going to take our creative body of work, and now you're going to create and do what you want. And what they wanted to do is create thousands and thousands of tracks and then offer somebody access to them for a fee. And then we get a slice and piece of it. And truthfully, without having an artist, I think it was completely not a good idea or the right thing to do. But it's what they chose to do. And it's fine. I mean, it's part of business. The only thing that they should have done is follow back up with every artist and make sure that they had releases for their tracks to be used in a library situation, which I never got any notification of that. So, saying all that, this to me was one of the winners. And that one never got used. But in here are several others. Actually, these are, no, see, here's more. I actually designed that. That was Crash of the Titans. There's a bunch of them. but these weren't used either. This was one of my favorites. Ain't gonna lie, it has a very Neptunes-y kind of feel a little bit, but it was something we produced in the studio, and it was just to be used for backing tracks and backing tracks only for like again, television, film placement stuff. Now that wasn't mocking or copying or kind of, borrowing from anybody really. That's just me and my weirdness. And these are three that came, and here's the hot two. I don't know. Oh, that's all part of the same thing, and I mean that was the playlist. But anyway, these are all tracks. But here you can see this is from my third album of Mr. Lo Figh, and this is the pink album. This would be the black album, and this would be the blue album, I guess. But literally, you can use these on all social media platforms, again, and or Twitch. So IG, Twitch, TikTok, or Facebook stories or reels. You can use the tracks, and they're there. And then Mr. Lo Figh has some other stuff, and this was for in case I do a DJ set after a show. I was hoping to just have some dance music, and I've created some dance songs. And then these are new tracks here to go on a fourth album, Raindrop Blues. So I have two guitars, and I did this whole thing with that. I really like that. I put it out on social media on Facebook. I don't know that I did IG. I haven't even gotten a whole IG account for Mr. Lo Figh. I kind of need to do that. That's one of the things I probably should have already developed as a complete and total profile. But this is album number 4, Raindrop Blues, and all of that, this stuff, A Day at the Beach, is going to go on it. Hard if you can hear there's like beach effects and kids playing in the background type stuff. It's kind of cool. But here's some of the other stuff that's going to be on that too. Now this has ukulele guitar stuff, and there's two. So both of these songs I'm gonna have to revisit and take out certain parts, and I just mean there's like a lead guitar in that one that's a little too much, and this one's got a ukulele lead that's clashing with the ukulele rhythm part. Those are things I'm gonna have to fix before these actually go into this fourth album with Raindrop Blues. So, but anyway. There's also a couple more Secrets in the Dark. there's another rainy day. So there's stuff like this, and then there's stuff like I said, Revolution, Feel the Energy, and these are going to be dance tracks, a specific just set of EDM stuff for Mr. Lo Figh. Here's part of that. And there's three. So there's that, and then for the other track, I could probably try and find it on here. It's called Revolution. I don't know if it's here or not. I think I'd have to find that on YouTube. See, all of this stuff is a little bit disorganized. But I'm gotta get it all. Look at, I have to even. There we go. Single Apple. I can't even find it. Look. Oh, let me find it. But if I go to Spotify, I can get it. There we go. Now to sign in. But this is the day of the life of a musician on a rainy day. Because I had a plan. This is a revolution. This is a revolution. This is a revolution. This is a revolution. So Revolution 3, this, where is it? Feel the Energy. And there's like one or two other dance tracks that I have that are all going to go on. I just basically it'd probably be a culmination of throwback EDM style and new style EDM. And I mean, I don't do any of the heavy, what do you want to call it, wobble warp bass stuff. I do kind of more like old school, a little bit on the old school dance side, but that's stuff that's also going to be on probably a fifth Mr. Lo Figh album. So that's what I'm going through, and that doesn't include this stuff that's on these accounts, which have new songs like Epic. We can climb the highest mountains. Come and drink from your fountain with me. There's rivers of living water. We can fly like the eagles to the sea. I'm gonna be all that I can be. No. Now these are all tracks that you'll hear at a live show, and this is me doing. Yeah! I try so hard to make you all happy, and I don't know why. There's that, and then there's conversations. So this is all, you know, like I said, here's 3. This needs to get removed. This needs to get put over here. And all the other rest of the Mr. Lo Figh stuff go under that account. Once I get stuff organized, sometimes like on SoundCloud I use as a model. Then I use that to kind of go ahead and transfer all my stuff to digital distribution platforms and then make it available as an album. But I do test stuff with this too. And what this does is, for me, SoundCloud, and some people use certain things in certain ways and some people in others. And I just heard that they actually appointed some UK guy to now be the governor of over SoundCloud. I don't know what happened. But my only point is, I've just had an argument and a fight with the way the industry is with regard to royalty collection, royalty payout, and they still feel like certain things aren't happening or haven't happened yet. My only point is, for me, this has been more of a tool, and the way I use it as a tool is if I come here and I go, okay, so if I log into this account, let's see, and I go sign in. Now at the top, I'm going to see some statistics, right? So I'm actually in the Michael Hensen _1 account, I think. So I have to go to profile. And it tells me followers, following tracks, blah, 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 station, share. But if I come up here, let's see. It's not what I'm looking for. Usually, this tells you like if you've had any listens and stuff. If I go to all, your insights. But if you come here to this, looks like no activity. See, I've had 0 plays in the last 7 days. But now if I log out of here, usually those numbers aren't that bad. It's also kind of funny. It gets you an idea of what it's like to be a musician, and then, you know, hey, look, 1 play in the last 7 days. Now, this is funny because I'm recording. I usually only have this, but I'm usually have anywhere from 4 to 10 plays, usually in the last 7 days, sometimes 22 plays. You know, it goes up and down depending upon what I've done. But this is under my main account, right? So if I come here, let's see, view your insights, we can look over the range of, let's say, 30 days, right? So this is the last 7 days. If I come up here and I go, No. If I come up here and I say last 30 days, now this gives me a little bit of statistical and metadata in a way that I can, like 8 plays, like Runaway. So the reason why this got this kind of thing, see, I got plays on other songs, but 3 plays on Runaway on the same day, total 8 plays that day. This is because on January 23rd, I released a video to Facebook, and I came over here and posted the video and then did a little bit of, hey, check out. So then I had the SoundCloud link, and that turned some people to come over here and put 3 plays in. And then instead of them just listening to Runaway, there was 4 other plays on other songs. So that's not a lot of plays, but if you think about it, this data can be helpful to any artist like myself, because it could last 12 months. Let's see. So now I can look at, okay, in March, I had 56 plays. Now I can look at Drag Me Down. Drag Me Down had 8 plays, then also Drag Me Down had 13 plays. Singles Dance, 6 plays, and then others had 29 plays. If I come over here to this month, December, or it's November of 2022, 78 plays. Singles Dance had 8 plays. Others had 62 plays. So a variety of other tracks on this account. 4 plays for Run Run. It's all good. That's just in November. Not a lot of plays, but okay, so I got a total of 62 plays on one account, one platform, not any of the 64 other platforms that I'm on all across the internet. Now, here's been my argument. If I come here, right? So let's go to my profile. And we look at total plays. Here you go. Singles Dance has. Let's go to the actual track here in SoundCloud. Singles Dance. So when we look at this track right here, look at all those comments that this has gotten. So, but not only do you have this, when this tells you if a song is actually doing something, and I mean, look, I already know it is. Drop that shit ASAP. Was this Louisville? He was acting like that. And I forgot what FOH means. I can't remember. Don't know what to say. Thank you for... Oh, that was me making a comment back. Fire, blah, blah, blah. Oh, May. Oh, my God. Can't wait. After hearing this from only one guitar, too, I only... And I don't know, some long comment there. Fire, happy, what? More shit, deep. Some people get it. Whoa, blah, 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 can't wait. Heard ya. Fire. Also, anyway, my only point is, and I like looking at the comments, because every once in a while when you get a track that actually has, but a lot of people, I have all of that, right? And I can look at the comments here for this track, but this all happened a year ago, and when I posted this, right in about a week and a half's time. So people jumped on this song, and people were going crazy. This is when I released this to be in the contest, and of course some of the California people were getting wind of it, and some other people, and so that's why the SoundCloud for this kind of, I think for this track specifically for Singles Dance, kind of blew up. A lot of people like this song. But my only point is, I can come to here. Where's the view insights? And maybe I have to. Yeah, your insights. There we go. And that's a quick, easy way to get to it. So 0 plays in the last 7 days, right? But we saw, like, in a week's time, I got, well, it was basically 2,500 plays last 30 days. So look, only 1 play, but we'll go over the whole year. So I've only had variableness, but if I go before this, see all, let's see, can we do the whole history? All time. $357 plays for Singles Dance. 28 plays. Look at this. Right at the end of 2021. See, this goes and shows you. And this don't, see, this is what's kind of weird. Like, I can't look back at, oh, I can. I could do a custom range. So let's go back. Let's go do that. So because the reason why is this data can be helpful, right? So if I go to, what was it? August, I think. Is it August? Okay, that's because I didn't do that correct. So we'll just click once, and I guess you got to click here. So there we go. Now look at this. Will show you. Look at what happened on August 18th. On August 18th, right? See, look at this. I got 2 plays, 4 plays, blah 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 blah. 1 play, 1 play, 1 play. Then 56 plays. Okay, look, 58 plays the day before. Before that 1 play, 58 plays. Then now, look, 2,477 plays. Now, somebody gonna say, did you pay somebody? But for this was all organic. And this is the organic and the way it happens. And the reason why this is August 18th and the day before, August 17th. This was right around the time that I was, really pushing some of the stuff out for the contest and posted about singles dance, and then also promoted the video, which, if we come back to Facebook, and I'd have to open Facebook in a certain separate window. And this is a big tangent. Like, I started off with organizing tracks and Mr. Lo Figh and stuff, but now I've come into, so I'm going to come here, videos. And this is day in the life of a musician. Hey, I got a live video going on. Let's see. I can't just search on Facebook. But if I was to scroll down and find singles dance, which I would have to go like this 54 weeks ago, 64 weeks ago. This is, I thought that I saw 50 weeks ago, so I was getting close. But so I'd have to scroll all the way down. But if I could look up the video, which you should have a video search. And I can't, can I? There is no video search. But if I could look up singles dance, you would see that the release of the video went out. I had 2,000 something plays on it. And then that turned around between that and the contest, and that got me another 2,477 plays in one day. And that attracted a bunch of people, and then they all commented. But then what happens? Then the next day, a couple days, it just completely fell off, right? Why did it fall off? So you wonder. But at least with this, it becomes a tool. And for me, then I go to the profile, and I can see some other statistics like followers and all this other stuff. And usually when you log in, it'll tell you your daily plays and if somebody's visited your... And so what I'm trying to point out here is if you do promotion, say you did some ads or whatever specifically for your accounts, probably I could get people to come back and play more stuff. But this is only SoundCloud, and this is management of one platform. And I just happen to have basically 3 accounts. And I don't know if there really isn't a problem with that, but I have it because I want to have it separated out into, and I do this for the partial organization before I go and release some stuff. And I use these numbers to kind of gauge exactly, feelings on, in other words, if I see low numbers here, but the low numbers are showing me stuff like 16 plays, 10 plays, 10 plays. This one says 30 plays, 86 on Run. These are old. But if I look even at the Lo Figh stuff, look, Disco Dinosaur, 77 plays. So I didn't release, this is the last album I released. So that tells me that song specifically, if promoted and put out somewhere else on several other platforms, was probably going to do pretty damn well by itself. One that people like, So That said, that's why I use SoundCloud and have used it, and also continue to post tracks and stuff. It gives me an idea of data and how the tracks are performing in a small place, unpromoted, with organic traffic. And so there you go. That's the day in the life of a musician, not just, uh, the stuff you see on TikTok. And the thing I wanted to talk about was I understand lately when I go and, like, I've been performing at 3 open mic nights, one at the beach, one right around the corner. Occasionally I go sing karaoke. And I understand people, but the frustrating thing is it's funny how if somebody grabs a microphone and they want to sing, or somebody's doing a karaoke thing, or somebody does this, like, I'm not a DJ, but like I run sound over here or whatever. Immediately, those people, and more recently, they want to take this and they want to basically say that this and what I do is, hey, hey, la 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 la, and it's like I'm only scratching the surface. This we aren't talking about me coming over here into Wondershare, Filmora, and creating a music video, or any of this stuff. Like, currently, I could pull up, text me the video. I'm working on it right now. I'm also working on, right, like this. These are music visualizers. These are other things that I was working on with regard to, this is video side of it, video promotion, music visualizers for each individual track. You got to do that stuff. You got to create and cut up even your live performance footage, and then add effects and do all those things. If I open GarageBand, we're talking about looking at 25 tracks like I had in the last video, where you're talking about layers of vocals that require coming up with parts, and not always just harmonies, but sometimes just even an octave part, or maybe it's not an octave part, maybe it's a vocal effects thing that you're doing. And you have, just in your vocal tracks alone, 10 to 12 tracks. And then people don't understand, like, you're also a person like myself playing the keyboard parts. And I mean, I use sometimes a MIDI keyboard, but I've also used the regular keyboard. And then most of the instrumentation in my stuff, a lot of times, is being played. If I grab my bass guitar or my drums behind me. And I mean, I haven't really done a lot of drum sequencing, because there's a couple things that I could do in another video to show people how I apply and work drums and drum machines and drum VSTs and things like Addictive Drums 2, and or also Waves plugins, and all the things I have to use to enhance drum sounds and make them sound full, along with reverb, multiple reverbs and plates using ROM and semantics, or cymatics, I'm sorry, space, and different plugins I have to use to create the depth and textures that go into just the actual song itself. That doesn't even include the live show tracks that I develop that have to sound a little bit separate and different. And so it's nice to go out to a place and this and that and this sound person and then, but everybody wants to compare that level of work to the person who's doing this stuff. And this doesn't even include the administrative stuff. Or right now I'm holding in my hand, this is a 5-page document. This is just one document out of the 8 documents that I have to fill out, which I already filled out the other 7, including another document, which is my tax form for one performance. But this is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-page document I got to turn in, a list of cue sheets, which is cues. These are going to be the video cues that go into each video sequence that's going to go on behind me, along with my tracks and when they play. And then when that stops, when I'm going to actually do a live performance using a cajon and a cajon loop, along with vocals and guitars all going in, that I'm going to create on the fly for the most part in a live show. So to me, it's a little frustrating because I get when people see me do this or that, you want to say, hey, it's time to play, and I'm all down for time to play. But if somebody at a karaoke bar singing one song thinks that it's not about, I just don't like when people compare themselves to me, and not only that, want to equalize my level of work with something that is just something that takes very little effort. And it's not that I'm mad, it's just I'm really frustrated because the only thing that separates me from a bigger artist is the fact that supposedly I haven't made it. But I just showed you in one day, I had 2,500 plays on one song on one platform and 60 comments organically, all in the same day. So I don't know what to think about it, but I'm just trying to show you what a day in the life of a musician really is like. And if I took you out now to the live performance I plan to do tonight, and then also I got a PA system in there with lights that I'm about to run through some songs and record a live Facebook video and or do live sessions or Instagram live. If you only knew the amount of work and time and effort it takes, I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but if you think that a person on American Idol really has to work really hard, they have to work hard, I guess, to get their dream going on. But imagine a person who works 30 years and has put out just in a short period of time 4 albums of lo-fi music where they do all the instrumentation. They're also balancing a live show situation where they got to fill out eight different packets of paperwork. Plus, they got to worry about releasing videos themselves for a live song, or not live song, for a live recorded song, and promote that in social media and YouTube. I don't know exactly if you could call it anywhere close to equal. So maybe what I'm supposed to learn is like I've stepped into this realm of like complete lost you're working a bunch of bullshit type thing. But I really don't think so, because when I go and play and I see 1,000 people happy, it's a completely different story. When I'm at the ocean front, or whether I'm playing on the deck somewhere for 100 people, or so the day in the life of a musician is trying to keep a good and steady pace upon this constant situation that's like this, where a lot of people think that if they just go and hang out and sing a song for 2 minutes because it's their favorite song, that it equates to and equals the same thing. And then all I'm trying to explain to for any musician, I want you to know, especially locals and even regional people that I've encountered and I see doing the work and the effort and playing shows and carrying your equipment and showing up over and over again, that level of work to me really defines you as a person and as an artist. And the only thing I can say is I hope that people recognize your value, and like myself, I'm still hoping that people will recognize my value. Anyway, that's this video, day of the life of a musician. Here's one other thing. How many times the computer crashes, and how many times the audio isn't right, and how many times it's like, oh, I couldn't hear this. I have one of my most popular videos on YouTube. I did a tutorial on how to register your tracks as an artist in ASCAP. It's probably one of the biggest, best videos I've ever done, as in, I think there's 7,000 views on it. I mean, it's all good. I think got 8,000 views plus another. So on Facebook, and I'm only telling the numbers because I'm trying to bring a correlation of things that make sense and things that don't make sense. But anyway, my only point is released It's All Good on Facebook. And in my video, if you go check, it's 8,000 views on Facebook. But you go on YouTube, and I think my views for It's All Good are a total of 500 to 1,000. You would think that that is the most dominant platform for people to learn and find out about music. But I had more success with regard to views and engagement on Facebook than I actually did on YouTube, which is supposedly the dominant music finding platform. And then that's what's funny. When you have that kind of success, people want to tell you, oh, Facebook's a thing of the past. Now it's Instagram. But Instagram and Facebook became a partner situation when Mark Zuckerberg bought it years and years back. I'm bringing this up because I would love to see the same kind of successes on YouTube. And YouTube also pays revenue with guaranteed monetization. But for a person like me, I got to, but I was bringing that all up to say that if I go on YouTube and find my most popular video, it's an ASCAP registration video. All that means is ASCAP is the Association of Composers and Producers or Performers. But anyway, they're the ones who actually report your royalties for radio and television opportunities. And they actually govern over all of that body. And you have to register your tracks within their framework in order to get paid for those opportunities. So I actually show a video on YouTube on how to do that. And the volume sounds like I was talking, like I was whispering the whole time, like you can barely hear me. And people have watched that video 7,000 times. And the reason why is because the information and the tagging, I guess, is proper on that video. And it's something that people wanted to know. So it's probably, like I said, it's probably the most popular video I have on YouTube because of the fact that it's an educational type thing. My only point, you would think that an entertainment-based person who actually does also do all of this other stuff would have videos and engagement with certain videos. Another thing is if you don't produce a high quality music video or enough or this is what makes me like a little like what? It doesn't make sense. So anyway, I said I was closing this out, but this is the day in the life of a musician, still trying to figure it out, sort of. I have a concert coming up. I was hoping to play 4 or 5 local shows. I was grooming a local place right around the corner. Turns out for me, now that I see the way it actually is, I'm thinking I'm going to step back from that situation and not pursue it quite yet. And I mean, everybody I've been meeting lately has been really cool, but I've also had some people that have just even thought I'm trying to be something that I'm not, accuse me of things that I don't do, and then I've had really killer and great responses also. The one place that I'm kind of referring to right now, and I don't want to name it, but I had one of the best live performance engagements I've had in a long time, to a level of transparency, which made me come to a realization. But it only took 2 or 3 bad situations for me to forget how special that was. And again, this is this thing. 1 minute in August in 2021, I got 2,600 plays all on one day. And I say 2,600, but it's 2,477. And I also had 2 or 3 other things where I had a couple hundred plays. I only bring it up because that roller coaster is hard to deal with as a musician. So, and that in itself is mentally challenging as well. Anyway, this video is closing out. This was supposed to be a 3 to 5 minute video to go on my TikTok account, and I was doing it on Facebook, and I don't know what I'm going to do now with this. But I appreciate it if you check it out, and keep supporting the people you want to support.